Welcome to Ancova Channel, where we bring you captivating stories, inspiring life lessons, and heartfelt content. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe, like, and share our videos. Let's dive into today's story, filled with drama, love, and second chance. Shattered Vows. Chapter 1. You can't do this to us. Denzel's voice trembled as he took a step closer to her. Desperation etched across his face. I'm sorry, but it's already done. We're over. Denzel, Amelia replied, her tone flat and unyielding. But why? He asked, his voice cracking. Our wedding is only a week away. After 4 years together, you can't just walk away like this. His hands shook as he pleaded, his eyes wide with a mixture of anger and despair. Amelia slid her sunglasses off, revealing her cold, dark eyes. I'm sorry, babe, but it's over. I've told you time and again I don't believe in love. And I definitely don't believe in weddings. Then why did you date me? Why did you even accept my proposal? He asked, his voice barely a whisper. You knew I wanted to marry you. I dated you for your money, Denzel. Now that I've achieved what I wanted, we're done, she said with a shrug, turning to walk away. You can't do this to me, he cried out, his voice shattering with pain. Please, in the name of the love we shared, don't leave me. I love you. Amelia didn't even look back. But I don't love you anymore. Don't call me or text me. In fact, I've already blocked your number. Goodbye, Denzel. With that, she walked away without another glance. Chapter 2. Denzel's fall. Denzel watched her leave, his world collapsing around him. He felt his legs give way beneath him as he fell to the ground. Darkness closed in, and the last sounds he heard were distant voices shouting his name. When he regained consciousness, he found himself in a hospital bed, his body weak and his mind numb. His mother, Abigail, stood by his side, concern etched on her face. Are you okay, son? She asked softly. Mom, where's Amelia? He whispered, his voice hoarse. Abigail's face hardened. She's gone, Denzel. She left you. It's time to move on. Her words hit him like a punch. He shook his head, trying to tear the drip from his arm in a fit of rage. But his sister, Snow, grabbed his hands firmly. Stop it, Denzel, she yelled. She's not worth it. Amelia's nothing but a gold digger. You have to forget about her. He stared at Snow, anger and pain swirling in his eyes. He couldn't understand how everything had gone so wrong, how his love had turned to dust in an instant. He let himself drift into a dark, endless void, where there was no light, no sound, no hope. For a year, Denzel was a shadow of his former self. He moved through life like a ghost, barely living, barely feeling. His family never left his side. They picked up his broken pieces, one by one, and helped him find the strength to face each new day. Chapter 3. Slowly but surely, Denzel began to heal. He started to find his old self again. It was a long, painful journey, but eventually, he made it back. Bro, you need to move on, Snow said one day, her voice firm yet caring. It's been a year. You've given her enough of your time. He looked at his sister, tears brimming in his eyes. I loved her, Snow. I really did. I don't know how to just let go. Snow placed a comforting hand on his shoulder. You're stronger than this, Denzel. You've got to be strong for all of us. It's time to live again. Denzel took a deep breath and nodded. You're right. It's time to leave Amelia in the past. With a renewed resolve, he began focusing on his career, building himself back up from the ground. 5 years later, Denzel was a different man. He was now the CEO of a successful tech company, respected and admired in the business world. The pain from his past had shaped him, but it no longer defined him. One morning, as he arrived at the office, his assistant greeted him with a hesitant smile. Sir, the new hire for the executive assistant position is waiting in your office. Would you like to meet her now? Denzel nodded and strode toward his office, ready to start the day. But when he opened the door, his world came to a screeching halt. Sitting behind the desk, glancing nervously at her resume, was Amelia. For a moment, they just stared at each other in stunned silence. Amelia was the first to break it, her voice shaking slightly. Denzel, it's been a long time. Denzel's jaw tightened as memories of their past flashed before his eyes. He forced himself to stay composed. Indeed, it has, he said, his tone cool and professional. "I didn't expect to see you here." Amelia stood up, wringing her hands together. "I didn't know this was your company. If you want, I can leave." "Stay," he interrupted, surprising even himself with the firmness in his voice. "You came here for a job, and I'm not going to let personal history interfere with business." She nodded, grateful yet visibly uneasy. "Thank you, Denzel. I really appreciate this." Chapter 5. Workplace Dynamics. Over the next few weeks, the atmosphere between Denzel and Amelia was tense but civil. He kept their relationship strictly professional, refusing to let any personal feelings surface. But the unspoken history between them lingered like a shadow. One evening, they ended up working late together. As they sat across the table from each other in the conference room, reviewing documents, Amelia suddenly spoke. "I know I hurt you," she said quietly, not meeting his gaze. "I know I don't deserve your forgiveness, but I'm sorry for what I did." Denzel's pen froze on the paper. He looked up at her, seeing a glimmer of vulnerability in her eyes that he hadn't seen back then. "It's in the past, Amelia. We don't need to talk about it. I was stupid and selfish," she continued, her voice barely above a whisper. "I thought money would make me happy. I didn't realize what I had lost until it was too late." He sighed, pushing the documents aside. "We all make mistakes, but that doesn't mean I can forget what happened." Amelia's eyes shimmered with tears, and she nodded. "I understand. I wanted you to know that I've changed. I'm not the person I used to be." As months passed, Denzel found it harder to deny that he still had feelings for Amelia. Despite his efforts to keep their relationship strictly business, the emotional walls he had built around his heart began to crumble. One evening, as they walked out of the office together, Denzel spoke up, his voice steady but uncertain. "Amelia, would you like to get dinner with me? Just to catch up, as friends?" Amelia's eyes widened in surprise. "I'd like that," she replied softly. Over dinner, they really talked for the first time in years. They spoke of the past, their regrets, and their lives since the breakup. It wasn't easy, but it felt right. Weeks turned into months, and soon enough, their old flame rekindled. But this time, they were different. They had both changed, grown, and matured. Denzel had to decide whether he was ready to open his heart again, or if he should keep Amelia at a distance. After much thought, he made his decision. "I'm willing to give us another chance," he told her one evening, as they stood on the rooftop of the company building, looking out at the city lights. "But things have to be different this time. We need to be honest, and we need to be sure." Amelia's eyes filled with hope. "I'm ready, Denzel. I'm all in if you are." And with that, they embraced, the past falling away like autumn leaves, as they ventured into a new future together, one where love, not money, was the real treasure. Life often presents us with second chances, but it is up to us to learn from past mistakes and grow. Forgiveness, honesty, and self-reflection can open the doors to new beginnings, allowing us to rebuild stronger relationships. Love isn't about perfection. It's about choosing to stay and grow together, despite the imperfections. Thank you for watching the Ancova channel. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share for more captivating stories and life lessons. Stay tuned for more.